That's what it looks like to go into it. Cheers. As much as you need, it's really delicious, rich and creamy. Hello and welcome to Eat These Words. Today I'm going to be doing you a very old recipe. It's from round about the 14th, 15th century, but there's a more modern version around which I'm going to be showing you today. So without no further ado, let's get into this. The only thing this recipe needs is 4 ingredients. Rhubarb, sugar, obviously to sweeten your rhubarb, double cream or similar. This isn't double cream, this is Elmley, which is a vegetable version, vegetarian version, and some Greek yoghurt. I've already cooked my rhubarb and I have beaten it until it's more or less a puree. There are a few little lumps, but I like a little bit of texture. If you want to see how I did that, I'll put it on the screen now for you. So this is how you make a rhubarb compote. It's basically just rhubarb and sugar. I washed my rhubarb, it's straight out of my garden. I'm going to take this end off. Don't eat the leaves. If you don't know anything about rhubarb, please don't eat the leaves. The leaves are poisonous. I'm just going to put that to one side. If there's any bad parts of your rhubarb, in other words, it's a bit tough or anything, cut that off. And we're going to put it, I want this to be a puree, so I'm going to cut it quite small so that when I cook it, it doesn't turn into, you can get bits about so big, and we don't want that. I want it to be a puree. And I'm lucky enough in my house, in my garden, to actually have red rhubarb, raspberry rhubarb as it's called, which will give this a lovely colour, which is what we're aiming for. If you've only got the green type of rhubarb, that's fine. It dates back to before Christ, when the Chinese, who were always a bit ahead of everybody else, used it as a medicine to cure constipation. The Greeks and Romans did so too. And it wasn't until, I think it's the, oh gosh, let me think. It wasn't until the 14th century that Europeans actually caught on to rhubarb. And we started using it as a medicine as well. Again, to help with constipation. So, but these days, it's mainly used as a dessert, mainly. However, did you know it's actually a vegetable, not a fruit? Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Despite the fact that we use it as a dessert item mainly. It can be put with things like fish and so forth, but I must admit I use it mainly in desserts, which is what I'm going to show you today. Once you've got your rhubarb all chopped up in your pan, take a little bit of water, just a splash, don't need a lot. There's a lot of water already in your rhubarb, you don't need to add too much. If you want to, you could add orange juice at this stage as well, it's up to you. I'm just using water. Put a lid on and then put it on the heat, just onto a medium heat, and we're going to let that do its thing. You need a lid for it to steam and everything. Keep an eye on it though. Now, I'm not going to give you any measurements for this recipe, simply because you can increase it, decrease it, add more, less, whatever, as you go along. It's been a couple of minutes and my rhubarb has started to bubble. So I'm going to take my lid off, as you can see here, and I'm going to give it a stir. And now that it's bubbling, I'm going to leave the lid off. I'm just going to keep an eye on it now. I'm going to turn the heat down slightly because it is up a little bit. And it smells delicious, so I'm going to leave that now and give it the occasional stir. When it gets to this stage and it's pulpy, as you can see here, what we're going to do is add some sugar to it. Now everybody's rhubarb is different. I tasted this before and it's extremely sour, so I'm going to add 2 dessert spoons while it's still warm of granulated sugar. A little bit more, and we'll see where we're at. This is a case of put it in, give it a mix, and then see where you're at. If there's any bits in there that are still lumpy, just knock them out with your spoon. But I'm going to try that now. So just with my little finger, which is clean. Could do with a little bit more, not a lot though. So I'm going to put in 1 more dessert spoon. That is a heaped one, by the way, guys, sorry. This is particularly sour, I have to say. And give it a good mix. We want that sugar to be distributed evenly. So what I'm going to do with that is just leave that to cool now. So first of all, what we need to do is whip up some cream. So I've got substitute for cream, which is just what we use in this house instead of double cream. I'm going to whip this up until it's whipped, which will be reasonably stiff. The first written recipe was written around the 1700s, I think the 1760s, by a lady called Hannah Glass. But before that, it was in probably every household and just passed on by word of mouth. Be careful not to overwhip your cream. If you overwhip your cream, put a little bit of milk in and it will bring it back again. We're going to check it now and see if it is ready. So what we're looking for, which it's not there yet, to keep the marks of the whisking when it's going round. Let's have a look at that, see what we're doing. Oh, okay, looks okay to me. And what I'm looking for there, when it drops, it kind of keeps its shape. That's what we're looking for, as you can see there. Generally, what would have happened with this is that it would have been made with custard or cream, whipped up custard and whipped up cream. However, it's a bit rich for me, so I'm going to be using Greek yogurt for this. I'm taking this recipe from Taste Botanical and also Nosy Chef, so I want to thank them for this. I'm just mixing up my Greek yogurt, so give it a good whisk, and I'm going to add a little bit at a time and stir it in. Now the Greek yogurt will thicken up the cream, the Greek yogurt. And remember to fold it in. What we're doing is creating air as we go. The more air you can get in there, the better. Oops. That'll have just killed. Hopefully not, we'll get some more in. So round and round we go. Where she stops, nobody knows. It's a lovely sort of dessert in this weather. See, look how thick that's getting now. Fool used to be made with gooseberries years ago. They've gone out of fashion a bit lately, which is why I'm doing rhubarb. And of course, I have a rhubarb, loads of rhubarb in my gardens. So once you've got your yoghurt in there, just pop that to one side. It's time to add your rhubarb. So I'm going to do it bit by bit. Now, I've still got a little few chunks in here, as you can see, which, you know, if you want rid of those chunks, puree it in a food processor. I don't mind those, I like them. I like a bit of texture. So I'm going to pop this in a little bit at a time and fold it in. And I'm aiming for kind of a rippled effect. Whether that works or not, I do not know, but here we go. I'm never very good with ripples, I've got to be honest. Stir gently. Round and round. Okay, a little bit more. And save a bit for the top to decorate, so people know what it is. So leave that bit for the top. Now I'm going to decant it into some glasses. So, just some spoonfuls and in they go. I'll try and make this as decorative as possible, but I'm not very good with these kind of things. You don't need a lot of it because it is very rich, which is why we use either gooseberries or rhubarb, really. The acidity in both of those will offset any sort of richness that you have from the dessert itself. Oops, managed to make a mess of that one. Once you've finished decanting into your dish that you're using, take the leftovers that you have and just put a little bit on the top. And it'll just tell everybody what's in there. So this is my gooseberry, not my gooseberry. So this is my Rhubarb Fool. There you go, look at that. Lovely. And I'm serving it with a bit of shortbread. So let's have a look. The buttery shortbread really goes well with this. Have a look, see what it's like. That's what it looks like to go into it. Cheers. Lovely and light. Taste the rhubarb. Taste the yoghurt, not too sweet. Really delicious, rich and creamy. That's a nice throwback, isn't it? We like a nice throwback. Anyway, if you like what I'm doing, hit me up with a thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified of any videos that I make coming into your inbox. Leave a comment below if you've made this before with other fruits, because you can make it with any fruit you so wish. Or if you know it by any other name, hit the comments below and let me know. Let me know where you're from as well. I'm trying to build a community here as well, so let me know where you're from. It's lovely to hear from people across the world. Anyway, for this week, I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you in the next video. Liz out.